Hi everyone, welcome to Link Site channel. We are a platform which connects cyber experts across the world. The reason why we are having such a channel is to ensure that the cyber experts who are working in various industries can share their experiences, their knowledge, their expertises across the world, which can help other experts who are working in various industries to utilize in their organizations to confront any cyber attacks or cyber breaches which are trendy in the world at this moment. We are focusing on the cyber security and information security domains through this channel, where it's a necessary topics at this moment, I must say, because in the current scenario of cyber technology world, it's high time, because most of the organizations are having the threats against cyber breaches. Cyber threat actors, cyber attackers, they are well organized and well oriented at this moment. They are using more advanced technologies to confront, to conduct the breaches and cyber attacks against reputed organizations in the world. So through this channel, we are providing opportunity. We discuss with various cyber experts who are associated with various organizations, various reputed organizations in the world, so that hand in hand we will be able to share the knowledge, share expertises, which can help each other and which can help us to prevent any cyber breaches, any cyber attacks. So with us today, Mr. Shaik Sabir is joining, who is the head of systems development and information security unit in one of the leading Dubai government department. Welcome, Mr. Shaik Sabir.
Thank you, Mr. Dijesh. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to join this session here with your channel. Yes, you have rightly said. We need a platform or a channel where we can get advice from the experts. Nowadays it is not easy to reach experts via telephone or via meetings. It's not easy. So this channel would definitely help organizations and professionals who are into these practices, information security and cyber security practices. They can connect to this channel and they can get all the insights from different experts, as well as latest information also can be provided to them, and they can gain information, and they can definitely ensure better strategies and tools at their organization.
Absolutely, you're right. Being an information security evangelist, actually, if we start, connecting the cyber breaches which are happening across the world, how, from your experience, what your take on information security enforcing across the organization? How strongly it can help us to confront, or how strongly it can help us to prevent any cyber breaches?
See, information security, I see it as a big umbrella of all the other security that are possible, and information security is at the governance level, and definitely information security is information security provides a platform which allows you to build a framework of policies, procedures, standards, practices. So it provides a governance framework or a governance module which can definitely help the organizations to build the primary firewall. Before we actually talk about the software firewall, it builds a culture of primary firewall. So first, the information security has to be in place in the organizations to develop the required policies, procedures, and the practices. Later, we can go for cyber security platforms or tools that can automate these practices or these policies. And there are so many standards available, particularly if you talk about in UAE. Most of the organizations are trying to achieve information security compliance towards ISO 27001 and Dubai ISR, which is from DESC, and there is NISA as well available for federal authorities and Abu Dhabi government departments. So various organizations and government departments can adopt the standards that are required, that are applicable to their organizations. And certainly, these standards actually provide a roadmap towards implementing the better practices or improving their maturity levels. So without a standard, they will not have a proper approach towards information security.
Absolutely.
Like if you talk about a student who is trying to do a graduation or post graduation, if you tell him just prepare yourself and go for exam, it will be a vague approach. Rather, if you tell him that these are the papers or these are the subjects that you need to do and this is the plan that you need to follow to complete each of the paper, it will become easier for him. Similarly, for information security, if you adopt a standard, it becomes easier for you to achieve the maturity levels.
Absolutely. Through your topic, you mentioned about automation part also. So,
Yes.
what do you think about, like, in the latest scenarios, there are lots of solutions which provides organizations to to enforce the policies or governance mechanisms through automated methodologies actually. So what is your take on that one actually? How practical or how effective that can be in an organization to automate the entire GRC processes?
See, I know, for a fact, automation is everywhere nowadays. From software, cyber security, information security, everywhere we talk about automation. And even artificial intelligence and machine learning, has helped a lot in this world in automating most of the things. Whether you talk about business process or the day-to-day operational functions, most of the things can be automated. Similarly, I agree with your point that even information security practices can also be automated to an extent. But see, before we talk about automation, I would like to say information security governance or a framework does not say that all the control should be automated. It says all the control should be implemented or should be in place, whether you do it manually or you do it automatically. So it should be in place. But definitely I agree with you, having an automated approach would be easier because humans cannot achieve the accuracy or precise control. When you give it to the system, it can do it precisely.
Absolutely.
But again, automation cannot replace humans. Humans are definitely required to build and maintain the policies as well as to monitor the practices. Systems can help in implementing the practices defined by humans.
So it's a sort of a human and
yes, it's
process.
a combination of human and system. We cannot completely give more weightage to automation. There has to be a balance between humans preparing the right policy or right controls. Like if you say in one of the information security policy, let's say we write a statement saying implement the prevention controls for data breach. We write a statement. So this statement is not very precise about what should be done. But whereas if you see any automation tool or any cyber threat intelligence tool, it can precisely do the work. How to prevent data breach. So the tools can definitely help, but before that, the precise control should be defined. And I do agree that there is a gap between how information security professionals think and how exactly the technical systems implement the practices. There is a gap. So to cover this gap, the controls or policies should be written in a more precise way, and then the technical systems can adopt these practices and can build the rules on top of it and implement the policies.
So can it be like an automated system which can be integrated with the existing process of the organization, and it can do a continuous measurement of your organizational processes on the go? Is it possible?
To some extent, not completely. Like if you talk about let's say a SIM solution or EDR solution, yes, they are available and they also help in threat intelligence, but they cannot completely do the job for you. There are many other factors required, many other approaches required rather than just automating, because you have to start with risk assessment, you have to do user awareness. There are so many other things to be done. Only the automation of rules or practices cannot do the job, full job, 100% job.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the reason why I was asking is okay because many of the organizations, they have a problem where they have a policies procedures in place as according to the
Yes.
compliance
Yes.
requirement, but
Yes.
it require a thorough audit to it
Yes.
require a continuous audit to ensure
Yes.
that the it's been practiced across the
That's
organization.
true. That's true.
So
That's true.
if a human interacted or a human controlled or process is there or a tool is there, you mean to say it's possible.
Yes, it's possible, quite possible nowadays, with the type of technology that we have and that's developing in this world, definitely we can achieve automation going forward. But currently, I would suggest to have 50-50 weightage for the manual work plus the 50% weightage for the automation work.
Absolutely, absolutely, because everywhere the robotic processes are being
Yeah.
conquering in the
Yes.
human process,
Even on the
human.
Google, the most prominent question if you see about AI is, can AI replace humans? I mean, definitely
Absolutely.
not possible.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So during your mentioning, you have mentioned about the user awareness, which leads me to another topic where which is one of the most relevant, I must say, which was mentioned in your earlier topic also, if I believe,
Yeah.
user awareness. So
Yes.
how do you think actually the user awareness and where exactly the user awareness has to be implemented?
See, user awareness is definitely very important. But if you talk about the purpose of user awareness, before we talk about the user awareness, I mean, let's talk about the purpose. Um, See, in the past, I remember like in 2017 or 18, the data breaches in organizations across the globe due to phishing emails or social engineering
Absolutely.
was about like 30 to 40%. But now, if you see 2021 data report, the data breaches due to social engineering or phishing emails is 80%.
Yeah.
So, social engineering or phishing emails has become a biggest weapon for the hackers or cyber attackers. So definitely, I say knowledge is power. That's what we have learned from our childhood days. Knowledge is power. So if you give the right knowledge to the users and the right awareness on the cyber threats as well as the information security threats, and if you make them well equipped about the latest threats that are happening, definitely it will build a strong protection for the organization.
Okay. So, I mean, considering the same factor, actually, like giving an awareness to it, like, how do you, ensure, how can we ensure that this awareness is a continuous process or the users are getting updated with the latest threats? How do you ensure that one actually?
See,
How can
the
you?
information security professionals or cyber security professionals, they are well aware of it. So they should take the responsibility of including the latest modules as part of the awareness session. They can do it manually by preparing, by putting their experience into a slide or multiple slides. They can do that, or they can also use many platforms available nowadays for awareness. And these platforms are actually feeded with the live data from the internet.
Okay.
Whatever threats are happening, during the pandemic, there were many threats about phishing attempts through phishing attempts about health topics. On health
Yes,
topics, there were many
yes.
phishing attempts.
There were many topics
So
related to the COVID and all used to
yes,
be spreading
yes, COVID
across.
and all. There were
Yes.
many topics, and users were easily falling victim to these topics. So
Absolutely.
based on the latest trends, these platforms will build the required training modules as well as the training content, and it's also possible to manually feed the content. So like I said before, a combination of humans and the systems can definitely help you prepare a better presentation or better awareness session for the users. And like you said, the awareness sessions have to be continuous because users are always users. They are busy with their business functions. They do
Yes.
not worry about the threats that are coming towards organization.
Absolutely.
We cannot blame them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
So, you mean to say the team must be dedicated for this one, this
yes,
user awareness. They should be conducting the user awareness sessions on frequent basis, And there should be a culture. I feel like there should be a more than just we are enforcing towards the users. There should be a culture, corporate culture, which should come by themselves actually towards the cyber security hygiene. So
I agree with you.
Great.
And even the training platforms nowadays, they are providing gaming kind of atmosphere for awareness. It's not a traditional way of learning things nowadays. It is the platforms are providing you gaming atmosphere to learn any new topic, any new topic in information security or cyber security. And one more thing I would like to mention here is the management support in every organization is really important in spreading the culture of information security or cyber security. If there is no management support, then whatever attempt you do, it may not be so successful.
Absolutely.
So management or the committee showing dedication in improving the culture, definitely, they will help us. They will give us the required authority as well as powers to provide the knowledge as well as take the actions on people who are not showing interest.
Absolutely. So it must be there with each and every employee. Each and every employee must be considered to have to take the user awareness session as a must in every organization too. Because every
employee should also feel the responsibility.
Absolutely. Every employee has a responsibility actually in the organization to ensure that their environment are cyber safe. So they all have the responsibility, and they should be care about that one as well as well as in their every activities, whatever they does in the organization at any point of time also. Great. Okay, so and when we consider in the recent past years, we can say the organizations are moving towards the cloud. So just want to have some lights upon that area in terms of in terms of information security compliance perspective. So what do you think actually, how about the moving towards the cloud? How can you ensure that the information security compliance which were applied across your organization will be the same when you move towards the cloud also?
Well, to rephrase your question, I think you are trying to ask the transition process from on-prem to our data center to cloud environment.
Yes, you can consider it. It's like there are two things to be considering in this stage. One is the transition. When you move towards your cloud, the migration part will be there. So for which there will be certain information security policies, which information security policy based procedures has to be in place. Second, you have to ensure the usage of the cloud as well in terms of cyber security compliance or information security compliance. So these two areas. So what are your take on those things, those topics?
First of all, the reason why most of the organizations or the world is moving towards cloud, the first reason is less resources required. Less resources required, which means reduced cost. So the organizations are getting attracted to these two benefits, less resources and reduced cost. So the organizations are easily able to move towards cloud computing or cloud environment. They are getting attracted to it. Even there are many cloud service providers, who are offering these services at a very lower cost, and organizations are able to easily move out. That's fine. But the thing is, I would suggest the organization should look into the risks. Before actually moving towards cloud, they should look for the risks that are occurring and try to evaluate and assess these risks. And if you talk about some of these risks, I don't want to detail all the risks that are possible on cloud, but some of the risks, if you consider, the first one I would say, as soon as you move towards cloud, the first risk is the IT is going to have less visibility over their operations, like less visibility over network operations, less visibility over database operations, less visibility over infrastructure management operations. And then the next thing is like they will have increased cyber attacks. There is a more possibility that the cyber attacks will be more, because they do not know whether the cloud service provider is having the right standards, right security standards, or they are having the right certifications. And the same thing, like after this point, I would say the organization should also look for due diligence while selecting the cloud service provider. Okay. Um, for buying any normal software nowadays, we try to see whether this particular third party or vendor is having the right experience or right resources.
Absolutely, yes.
Before we take any product. Similarly, when we move towards cloud, the organization should also look for the cloud service provider capabilities. What capabilities do they have? What certifications do they have? How can they secure the environment? So there should be some due diligence to understand the capabilities of cloud service provider. That's one thing. And the next risk would be the compliance. Most of the organizations, like I said, in UAE, they are following ISO 27001 or Dubai ISR or NISA. Imagine one of these organizations moves toward cloud computing or cloud environment. They have to assess, first of all, can they fully comply with these standards when they move towards cloud? Because if they do not comply after moving towards cloud, they lose basically the credibility.
Absolutely.
Because governments and banking sector is more prone to cyber attacks, cyber threats. So they should do a thorough risk assessment or a thorough evaluation or assessment of their risks. So after assessing all these risks, they can take a decision to move towards cloud. And even if you see the, sorry, you're trying to say something?
No, yeah, please continue.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, before we talk about the information security policies, procedures, there has to be a proper risk assessment to move towards cloud. Whether your organization is having the right appetite, can they accept these risks? Can they easily move towards cloud and bear with these risks? And they should also assess what existing controls do they have to handle these risks. Because the entire risk assessment process will help you to assess the existing risks plus the existing controls and what mitigation plans have to be in place. And then you can talk about what cybersecurity tools or platforms can be used to mitigate the risks. Plus they can think about implementing the controls of information security practices, because information security practices or policies, procedures, they come with some practices or they come with some controls that can be implemented. So before you build, before you talk about the policies, procedures and standards, first try to do risk assessment and then make your policies, procedures strong enough to handle these risks.
Absolutely. So it's like something like, understanding what you
journey.
are. Yeah, it's a journey actually. So understanding what is your current status and, so you have to reach to, a place. So what are the gaps? What are the risks in that one? It's like an overall, if you say a proper threat modeling has to be done.
Yes, that's right.
So there are risks. Right. So you have these things to be there. Technologies or solutions should be there to confront or protect against those risks.
Yes.
Then you have to plan for the next steps. So it's like a step-by-step journey actually towards the cloud. And and as per your opinion, moving towards cloud will be increasing the exposure level as well. So definitely the risk will be more compared to the on-premise. So in that case, taking that in that case, the risk management should be more, risk processing should be more, and more cyber security solution should be there in place in the to confront or in line with this risk or mapping to these risks actually.
That's right.
Great. All right, great. Okay, so thank you so much actually for sharing all this small information. But these are, like, I must say, are one of the relevant topics which are being discussed across multiple industries at this moment. Definitely, I believe that this will be helping other organizations who will be with this with these experiences which you have shared, with these suggestions which you have shared, with these the points which you have mentioned. So definitely this will be helping the other expertises, other professionals who will be watching this video for sure. Thank you, Shaik Sabir, for joining Links Hype. And for listeners, please do subscribe for more similar topics to be discussed. Thank you, Shaik Sabir, once again.
You must welcome. Thanks to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.